Daily quote, "Learn as if you will live forever. Live like you will die tomorrow," by Mahatma Gandhi. Please subscribe to our channel to refresh your day by exploring this world. The area that is today the country of Russia has been inhabited by people for thousands of years. This video will show you the 58 of main timelines and events about Russia. So, let's take your moment into Russia's history together. In 800, Slavic peoples migrate into the area of the Ukraine. In 862, King Rurik rules the region from the city of Novgorod. The people are known as the Rus. In 882, King Oleg moves the capital city to Kiev. In 980, the kingdom of the Kievan Rus expands and grows in power under the rule of Vladimir the Great. In 1015, Yaroslav the Wise becomes king. The Kievan Rus reach their peak in power. A written code of law is established. In 1237, the land is invaded by the Mongols. They destroy much of the region's cities. In 1462, Ivan III becomes the Grand Prince of Moscow. In 1480, Ivan III frees Russia from the Mongols. In 1547, Ivan IV, also known as Ivan the Terrible, is crowned the first Tsar of Russia. In 1552, Ivan IV conquers Kazan and extends his kingdom. In 1609, the start of the Polish-Russian War. Poland invades Russia. In 1613, the Romanov dynasty begins. When Michael Romanov is elected Tsar, the Romanov dynasty will rule until 1917. In 1648, the Salt Riot occurs in Moscow over the introduction of a salt tax. In 1654, Russia invades Poland. In 1667, Russia and Poland sign a peace treaty. In 1689, Peter the Great becomes Tsar. He will establish Russia as a world power, introducing reforms and creating a standing army. In 1700, the start of the Great Northern War with Sweden. In 1703, Peter the Great founds the city of St. Petersburg. In 1713, St. Petersburg becomes the capital of the Russian Empire. In 1721, Russia wins the Great Northern War, gaining territory, including Estonia and Livonia. In 1725, Peter the Great dies and his wife Catherine I reigns as Empress of Russia. In 1736, start of the Russo-Turkish War against the Ottoman Empire. In 1757, Russian troops join in the 7 Years' War. In 1762, Russia leaves the 7 Years' War with no territory gained. In 1762, Tsar Peter III is assassinated, and his wife Catherine II takes the crown. She will rule for 34 years, called as the Golden Age of the Russian Empire. In 1812, Napoleon invades Russia. His army is nearly destroyed by the Russian winter weather. In 1814, Napoleon is defeated. In 1825, the Decembrist revolt occurs in St. Petersburg. In 1853, the Crimean War begins. Russia eventually loses to an alliance of France, the Ottoman Empire, Britain, and Sardinia. In 1861, Tsar Alexander II launches reforms and frees the serfs. In 1867, Russia sells Alaska to the United States for $7.2 million. In 1897, the Social Democratic Party is established. It would later split into the Bolshevik and Menshevik parties. In 1904, Russia goes to war against Japan in Manchuria and loses badly. In 1905, the Revolution of 1905 occurs. Around 200 people are killed on Bloody Sunday. In 1905, Tsar Nicholas II is forced to accept the October Manifesto, allowing for a parliament called the Duma. In 1914, World War I begins. Russia fights on the side of the Allies. Russia invades Germany. In 1917, the Russian Revolution occurs. The Tsarist government is overthrown. The communist Bolsheviks take control in the October Revolution. In 1918, the Russians exit World War I. With the Brest-Litovsk Treaty, they give up Finland, Poland, Latvia, Estonia, and the Ukraine. In 1918, Tsar Nicholas II and his family are executed by the Bolsheviks. The Red Terror begins as the Lenin institutes communism. The Russian Civil War erupts. In 1921, Lenin announces his new economic policy. In 1922, the Russian Civil War comes to an end. The Soviet Union is established. In 1924, Lenin dies and Joseph Stalin becomes the new leader. In 1934, Stalin's Great Purge begins. Stalin eliminates any opposition, and up to 20 million people are killed. In 1939, World War II begins. Russia invades Poland in an agreement with Germany. In 1941, Germany invades Russia. Russia joins the Allies. In 1942, the Russian army defeats the German army at the Battle of Stalingrad. This is the major turning point in World War II. In 1945, World War II ends. The Soviet Union controls much of Eastern Europe, including Poland and East Germany. The Cold War begins. In 1949, the Soviet Union detonates an atomic bomb. In 1961, the Soviets put the first man in space, cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin. In 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis occurs, as the Soviets place missiles in Cuba. In 1972, détente begins, as US President Richard Nixon visits the Soviet Union. In 1979, the Soviet-Afghanistan War begins. The Soviets have little success against the Afghanistan rebels. They leave in 1989 defeated. In 1980, the 1980 Summer Olympics are held in Moscow. Many countries boycott the Games, including the United States. In 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev is elected General Secretary. He institutes freedom of speech and openness of the government. In 1991, the Soviet Union is dissolved. Many countries gain their independence. The country of Russia is established. In 2000, Vladimir Putin is elected president. In 2014, the 2014 Winter Olympics are held in Sochi. The Romanov dynasty will rule until 1917. In 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine until the present. This is also the worst war in the last century for the world. Please help subscribe to our channel and click on the link for more exploration videos. Thank you.